Hello everyone, welcome to the daily editorial analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy, 4th February 2025. Displayed here are the list of articles that we will be discussing today. The first article, The Spirit of 1971. The article is taken from the newspaper Indian Express. The article is talking about how the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War later shaped the Indo-Bangladesh relation. And the second article, Kind of Jobs Needed for Viksit Bharat Goals. The article is taken from the newspaper The Hindu. In this article, we will be discussing what are the important factors that government has to make sure when they are framing a sustainable employment generation policy. So without much delay, let's begin our discussion with the first article. The Spirit of 1971. The article is taken from the newspaper Indian Express. We know that the year 1971 is known for Bangladesh Liberation War. And in this war, Bangladesh was supported by India to get independence from the West Pakistan. So this article is talking about how the Liberation War of 1971 later shaped the Indo-Bangladesh relation. We know that since 1971, both India and Bangladesh are very good friends. Yes, there are certain problems in the relations, but still the relationship is very strong even after the political instability in the Bangladesh in the recent days. So in this topic, we will be discussing what is the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1970-71. And in the second part of this topic, we will be discussing the Indo-Bangladesh relation, what are the challenges and what are the opportunities in it. So without much delay, let's get into the discussion. So to understand about the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1970-71, you have to start from the year 1947. We know the importance of 1947, August 15. Both India and Pakistan got independent. When India and Pakistan got independent in the year 1947, there were two Pakistan. First one was a Western Pakistan and the second one was the Eastern Pakistan. But if you look closely, you can see a lot of difference between the Western Pakistan and the Eastern Pakistan. So for example, the people of the Western Pakistan were highly influenced by the Persian culture and the language was Urdu. But if you come to the Eastern Pakistan, you can see the people, cultural difference I'm talking about. The people, they are influenced by the Bengali language and the culture is somewhat similar to the South Asian culture. And at the same time, you can see the Western Pakistan was more powerful in the time of administration. And that's why the people of the Eastern Pakistan often faced political marginalization. And you can also see another major reason behind the instability in the Pakistan was the role of military. The military is more powerful sometimes than the elected government. And this was one of the major reasons behind the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1970-71 as well. And you can also see the economic, the inequality between the Western Pakistan and the Eastern Pakistan. Relatively, the Western Pakistan was much more developed than the Eastern Pakistan. So these are the major reasons that initially contributed to a difference between the Eastern Pakistan and the Western Pakistan, which became ultimately a reason for the Bangladesh Liberation War. So once again, I'm repeating, the political, marginalization faced by the people in the Eastern Pakistan, the cultural difference between the Western Pakistan and the Eastern Pakistan, and the economic disparity between the Eastern Pakistan and the Western Pakistan. The Western Pakistan was somewhat relatively developed than the Eastern Pakistan. And you can also see the Eastern Pakistan is highly vulnerable to natural disasters, especially flood during the time of monsoon. And the monsoon also plays a very important role in the Bangladesh Liberation War. So these were the primary reasons that initially created a difference between the Western Pakistan and Eastern Pakistan. But the actual reason of the 1970 was in the early 1970 there was a general election in the Pakistan. In the Western Pakistan, the Pakistan's People Party under the leadership of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto got victory, while in the Eastern Pakistan the Awami League under the leadership of Mujibur Rahman got victory. But what happened was the military was more powerful than the elected government in the 1970. So what happened was the military general, the military under the leadership of military general Yahya Khan, they arrested the Mujibur Rahman and declared that the election result is not valuable. And this immediately resulted into a widespread protest and violent response from the Eastern Pakistan. And to suppress this violent protest from the Eastern Pakistan, the Western Pakistan Army launched an operation called Operation Searchlight. The ultimate objective of this Operation Searchlight was terminating the liberation movement from the Eastern Pakistan, or a Bangladesh nationalist movement from the Eastern Pakistan. So this Operation Searchlight resulted into refugee crisis in India, because we know that Bangladesh and India shares a lengthy border. So nearly 80 lakh people migrated from Bangladesh to India in search of asylum. And what happened was India also extended moral and material support to the Mukti Bahini or the liberation movement in the Bangladesh. So Pakistan accused India for engaging in the internal affairs of the Pakistan, and you have to note that the 1970s, the Cold War was at peak. So you have to note that in the 1970s, it is a period of Cold War. So both the USSR and the USA both were looking for an opportunity to make the next move. But in the case of Bangladesh Liberation War, the USA, the United States of America, they took the first move. So in the year 1971 July, Henry Kissinger, the American the advisor to the American administration under Richard Nixon, he visited China, and that resulted into a formation of an alliance between USA, China, and Pakistan. So you have to note how the geopolitics of the South Asia was changing in 2 decades, because we have to note that China was first recognized by India. US was refused to recognize China as an independent nation in the year 1949 when it got independence after the Civil War. India was the first nation to recognize China as a nation. But now you can see Pakistan, USA, and China, they formed an alliance against the liberation movement of Bangladesh as well as against India. So what happened was India sought support from another superpower, that was USSR, and in the year 1971 both India and USSR signed a friendship treaty called the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, and with the support of this treaty, India entered into the war, and a 13 days war was fought between India and the Western Pakistan army, and finally with no other option, the Pakistan's army was surrendered on December 16, 1971, and Bangladesh became an independent nation. And you have to note that this time, the June, July, and this time the Bangladesh was facing a monsoon and flood, and the Indian Air Force played a primary role in the Bangladesh Liberation War, especially the operation of Catus Lily. Operation Catus Lily, launched by Indian Air Force, played a critical role in defeating the Pakistan's military operation. So not that Operation Catus Lily, Operation Searchlight was launched by the Pakistan, and Operation Catus Lily was launched by Indian Air Force. So both related to the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1970-71. And finally, after on December 16, 1971, with the surrender of the Pakistan army, nearly 90,000 Pakistan army men surrendered before India, and Bangladesh became independent. So what was the impact of the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1970-71? India became a dominant regional power because we helped the Bangladesh to get independence from the West Pakistan. And you have to note that in the Liberation War, India stood against 3 important powers, that was Pakistan, China, and USA. So India became a dominant regional power. So at the same time we got support from Bangladesh, and we also expanded our relationship with the USSR, and Bangladesh became a sovereign nation, and further the war strengthened the Indo-Bangladesh relations. So coming to the second part of this topic, Indo-Bangladesh relations, diplomatic and strategic ties. So mutual aid during the 1971 war laid the foundation for the Indo-Bangladesh relation, and finally in the year 1974, then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Mujibur Rahman signed the land boundary agreement between India and Bangladesh to resolve the border issue, but this remained unresolved till 2015, and finally the NDA government in 2015 resolved the border dispute through signing the land boundary agreement, through ratifying the land boundary agreement in the year 2015. So you can see this picture. So through this agreement, India gave around 70,000 acres of land to Bangladesh, and in return Bangladesh gave around 7,000 hectares of land to India. Especially we gave certain regions from Kuch Bihar, that region, and finally the border issue between the India and Bangladesh was resolved through the land boundary agreement 2015, through ratifying the land boundary agreement in the year 2015. And the second area of cooperation between the India and Bangladesh is the security cooperation. So both nations faces problems like terrorism, insurgency, and cross-border crime. So India and Bangladesh both are cooperating in this region to counter all these problems and we also established joint border patrols and intelligence sharing. And India is a key defense and strategic partner of Bangladesh. And coming to the economic and people-to-people tie, So India is a major trading partner of for Bangladesh, especially in the field of infrastructure. We proposed a pipeline which connects India, Bangladesh, and Myanmar, and we also launched certain transit project between India and Myanmar. There also Bangladesh plays a key role. We will see what is the name of that transit project soon. And the other fields like textile, Bangladesh has a huge potential, especially to produce jute, and energy and agriculture. And we can also see both India and Bangladesh both are committed to other sectors like sharing energy resources, trade, and all. For example, in the year 2022, both the nations initiated a discussion on a CEPA, that is Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, to strengthen the Indo-Bangladesh trade relation. According to the estimation of 2023, the trade relation between India and Bangladesh is standing at the value of $18 billion, but this can be, we can increase the value, if we have some exclusive trade relation related agreements with India and Bangladesh. And coming to the railway connectivity, recently, India and Bangladesh established a railway network which connects the Agartala in Tripura with the Akaura in Bangladesh, and which ensures a fast movement between the people of India and Bangladesh. And coming to the cultural exchange, both, we can see the, like I mentioned in the beginning, the Bangladesh is influenced by the Bengali culture. So India is also influenced by Bengali culture. So this will bring, unity in the field of, arts, for example, in films, music, and literature. And education cooperation, we can enhance the student exchange programs, and we can also collaborate with the Bangladesh in the field of research and development. Coming to the opportunities in the collaboration, first one is the coming to the economic collaboration. You can see that trade and investment. So like I mentioned, both nations has huge potential in the field of textile, pharmaceutical, and agriculture. So this can be enhanced if we have an exclusive a trade agreement with the Bangladesh. And you can note the 2022 CEPA discussion. And we have also launched a lot of infrastructure projects with the support of Bangladesh. For example, Kaladan project, it connects the Calcutta in Bangladesh, in West Bengal, with the Aizawl in Myanmar. But this will also support the Indo-Bangladesh trade relation in the near future. And coming to the next is Ashauganj Akaura. Like I mentioned before, it is a railway link that connects the Agartala district in Tripura with the Akaura in Bangladesh. And the next field of energy is the cooperation, because the Bangladesh has huge potential for electricity generation, like India also has, and both are tropical nations, access to sun. So we can launch mega solar projects if both nations are collaborating. And the next, we can see the cultural relation. You can see both nations are influenced by the Bengali identity, so we can enhance the culture relation through student exchange program. And we can also launch joint arts forums, which further enhances the soft power relation between India and Bangladesh. And we are also committed to regional security. For example, the BIMSTEC, that is Bay of Bengal Initiative of Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. This was launched in the year 1997 through the Bangkok Declaration, and this includes India and Bangladesh both are members to this forum. Therefore, it is focusing on problems like security and disaster management. And the next area of cooperation, it is a kind of disputed cooperation between India and Bangladesh, that is the Teesta River management. We will see what is this Teesta River management. So you can see that this is the Teesta River. So this is the Teesta River, which is originating from the Kasang and Semu glaciers in the state of Sikkim, and this will flow through Sikkim, and it will reach the Bangladesh. It will reach the Kuch Bihar district in the West Bengal, and finally it will enter into Bangladesh, and it will join Jamuna. Jamuna is nothing but Brahmaputra only. So this is a river. So this is flowing through two Indian states. First one is Sikkim, and the second one is West Bengal. So from Kuch Bihar, it will be joining the Jamuna, that is Brahmaputra, in the Bangladesh. So what is the actual issue between India and the India and Bangladesh related to the Teesta River dispute? So Bangladesh wants 50% of the Teesta's water, while India claims 55% of the share. So this problem is since their 1980s, and in the year 1983 there was a negotiation which ended in a deal that 39% will be given to India and 36% will be given to Bangladesh. And in the year 2011, both Delhi and Dhaka, they signed an interim deal for the next 15 years, which allowed 42% water for India and 37% water for Bangladesh. So what is happening here? The problem is that during the time of summer, there will be a fall of the water level. So if India is taking more water in summer season as well, it will create water scarcity in Bangladesh. So this Teesta River plays a very important role in protecting the ecosystem as well as the agriculture sector of Bangladesh as well as in the state of Bengal. So this is actually a problem between the India and Bangladesh, and the West Bengal plays a significant role. The West Bengal government plays a significant role in the negotiation related to the Teesta water. So you can go through the note. So you can go through the certain articles related to the Teesta water issue if you want more information. And these are the basic information, facts related to the Teesta water river. You can go through that. It will be very useful for your prelims. Coming to the challenges related to India and Bangladesh, first one is a water dispute. So especially the dispute associated with water sharing from Teesta, Ganga and Brahmaputra. And in the Ganga water sharing, there was an issue, and this was resolved in the year 1997. And now the issue is surrounded, with the Teesta River and historical tension. During that Bangladesh liberation war, many refugees came and settled in India. And recently, Indian government brought the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2020, and this Citizenship Amendment Act further created social tension in the northeastern part of India. Many people, especially the registration, the National Population Register, the government asked for the previous generations' information to prove that they are settled here even before the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1970-71. But what happened is that many people lost their documents, and now they faced, for a short time, they faced a problem of identity, and this also further intensified the social tension in the northeastern region. And associated with the Bangladesh Liberation War, we also have certain problems like crimes and cross-border issues. And the next is border security. For example, the smuggling, human trafficking, trafficking of animal parts. These are the other border security crises that we have in the Indo-Bangladesh border region. And the next is cross-border migration. So recently, during the time of the removal of Sheikh Hasina's administration from Bangladesh, there was an illegal migration from the Bangladesh. So the political instability in the Bangladesh will result in overspill in the India as well. So this will further results in the social tension in the northeastern region, and the social tension will result in allocation of more resources to resolve the problem, and finally brings more burden on the government. And the political instability. For example, recently the Awami League was replaced by the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So this kind of alternative rule between different governments will also influence the policies between the India and Bangladesh, will further affects the sustainability of mega projects as well. So in this topic we discussed two major subtopics. First one is a short history of the Indo-Bangladesh war or Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971, and then we saw how the Indo-Bangladesh relations since the 1971. So what are the challenges and opportunities in it? So based on the discussion, try to answer this mains practice question. The question is, how do historical issues like the 1971 war and the refugee crisis affect Indo-Bangladesh relations, and how can reconciliation be achieved? So this question has two parts. So first part, you have to address how the war of historical issues like the war of 1971 and the refugee crisis affected the Indo-Bangladesh relation. So the the impact of the 1971 war, we discussed. India became a regional superpower. We enhanced the diplomatic ties with the Bangladesh and the USSR. These were the impact of the 1971 war. And the refugee crisis resulted into social tension in India. And when the National Population Register came in the year 2020, and that also created social tension in the northeastern part of India. And refugee crisis will also result into other problems like identity problem, smuggling, and the crimes in the border region. So these will be the impact of the refugee crisis, and how this how we can achieve the how we can bring a resolution to these problems. That's what the second part is asking about. So here you can talk about the importance of enhancing the trade relation. For example, the finalization of CPA with the Bangladesh, which was the talk was initiated in the year 2022. That's what we discussed. And then we have to talk about the importance of enhancing cooperation in the field of infrastructure, especially in the border region. So these are the things you can talk. And we can also highlight the importance of how India should approach the internal problems in the Bangladesh more diplomatically. We cannot take arms like in the 1970s. So you can highlight the importance of the diplomacy as well. So based on our hints, try to answer the mains practice question and post it in the comment section. We will review and we will reply for your answer. The kind of jobs needed for the Viksit Bharat goal. The article is taken from the newspaper The Hindu. Viksit Bharat. We are all committed to Viksit Bharat 2047. That means transforming India into a developed nation by the year 2047. And the economic survey highlighted that a sustainable growth of GDP at the rate of 8% is needed to achieve the Viksit Bharat by 2047. And in this context, we have this article which is talking about the importance of generating sustainable employment. That means whenever the government frames a policy, it has to consider three important factors. First one is the employment should be should address the impact of climate change. That means the employment should be climate resilient. And the next is it should address the changes in the market due to the emergence of artificial intelligence. That means the employment policy should be artificial intelligence resilient. And the third one, the employment policy should based on aspiration of the people. So let us discuss more about the article. First, we are going to see the impact of climate change on the jobs. We know that the accelerated climate change can not only affect the environment or the flora and fauna, it can also bring social tension and other economic problems, including hunger and poverty. And according to the estimation in the year 2019, you can see that India is the seventh most climate affected region or a country. And the state of climate report published by WMO, that is World Meteorological Department, they are also World Meteorological Organization, they are also highlighted that Asia, especially the South Asia, is getting more vulnerable to extreme weather events such as cold wave and heat wave. And we lost an income of approximately $159 in the year, as per the estimation in the year 2021, due to the climate change. And according to the estimation of Reserve Bank of India, the adaptation cost will come around $1 trillion by 2030. So you can see how the climate change is impacting the economy through this data. And therefore the climate change can significantly impact the sector of agriculture and labor market, rural livelihood, and therefore the investment in the field of adaptation and green jobs are very necessary these days. And what are the key initiatives can be taken in this line? First one is promoting rural mobility electrification. That means that is providing 3 to 4 state e-rickshaws to villages. That means initially we have to target around 6 lakh villages, and particularly women. So this will provide income to women, and this project is expected to will bring green changes from the grassroots level, and it will also create 2 million jobs. And the next area we can work is biogas and renewable energy. First we have to bridge the biogas plant gap. So at present we have 82. We have to bridge, our target is 5,000. So we have to bridge this huge gap. And the next one is accelerating 500 gigawatt non-fossil fuel energy. And as per the article, this will create an employment over 1 million. And the next is going for decentralized solar projects. So we can see that now we are more focusing on solar projects in the heavy industries as well as in big firms like airport, other heavy industries. But this will limit the employment opportunity. These are green steps, no doubt in that, but this will limit employment opportunity. But if you are going for decentralized solar projects, that means every house, if you have the solar projects, rooftop solar energy and all, this will provide more employment opportunity. That as per the estimation, this will this is the decentralized solar projects is 7 times more labor intensive. And the next step that can be taken in this line is ecosystem restoration. That means focusing on restoring and protecting mangroves and wetland. This will also generate rural employment, and these are climate resilient steps. And the next is artificial intelligence. We know that India is known for service sector. So, but if you look the estimation of McKinsey Institute, they are saying that within next 10 years, India will go for 50% automation. This will significantly bring a lot of changes in the labor market, and this can disrupt the generative AI can disrupt jobs in the field of information technology, customer service, and content industries. For example, the article itself highlights that 25% of the Google's coding is done by generative AI. And if you take the content industries, this can impact the employment opportunity in the big industries like film industry. For example, recently the Marvel Studios, they released a series known as Invasion, Secret Invasion. And in that series, you will be seeing some graphics before every movie or every series, displaying the writer's name and all. So that graphics was entirely done by AI, and this sparked protest in not only the series. This type of the emergence of AI sparked protest in the Hollywood film industry recent days. And we know that India is known for service, especially in the field of business and IT, and 70% of India's service export is from this sector. And when AI disrupts, you know, the employment opportunity in this field, this will affect the employment growth, as well as eventually this will affect the livelihood of the people working in this sector. And what are the initiatives can be taken in this line? So you have to when AI is enhancing on one side, we human beings also has to develop in that way. So therefore we have to invest in the human capital. For that we have to primarily make investments in the field of health and education. So increase in the budget for healthcare is important these days, and this has potential to create employment opportunities, as well as will provide opportunity to enhance the human capital. Therefore we can develop according with the AI in the job market. The next one is strengthening the national rural livelihood mission. That means focusing on financing rural artisan, farmers, and establishing a very good link between the farming, the rural products and the main market via AI or digital platforms. India has launched the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Yojana, which is focusing on skill development of artisans. And then we have the government also launched the e-market for rural farmers to sell their products. Through that e-market they can find the consumer and they can sell the product. So this will protect the products from perishing. At the same time, it will provide direct access to the market for the farmers, avoiding the other intermediaries. And the next is supporting AI augmented jobs, especially in the field of cyber security, digital marketing, and creative sectors. That means through enhancing the human capital, through enhancing the creativity of the people, we have to manage the artificial intelligence and the human creativity. So through that we can you can reduce the job loss in this sectors, especially in the field of cybersecurity, digital marketing, and the service creative sector. And the next is aspiration-centric jobs, or generating employments based on aspiration of the people. So this will be very useful in addressing the employment and employment related issues and unemployment in the rural area. For example, if you take the rural youth population itself, we can say they might have a very good skill, innovative ideas and lot, but at the same time they will also face a lot of issues such as lack of off-farm employment opportunities, backward infrastructure, and low confidence due to poor education, especially if they might have studied in the rural language. Therefore they may struggle a little bit in the beginning to speak in English. So this will bring lack of confidence in the people, and this eventually make them to depend on government jobs and coaching for government jobs. So this will also bring, it is time taking process, and it is it needs a lot of investment as well. So what are the initiatives can be taken in this line? First one is developing the rural infrastructure and agri processing sector. First one, for example, if you can integrate at least 70,000 packing houses in the rural area, it will create an employment over 2 million. And the next is boosting the processing value of high import agriculture products such as oil seeds, soybean and sunflower. This will also helpful in reducing India's dependence on import of edible oil by reducing 57%. For example, if you take the palm oil itself, you can see nearly 70% of the palm oil at present is imported from Southeast Asian nations, especially from Malaysia and Indonesia. And the next is reforms in the technology and social media, or utilization of technology and social media for branding and e-commerce business. For example, if a product has a brand, then it will have a market value, and this can be used for promoting khadi, handicraft, and organic products from the rural area, and promoting local products such as cold pressed oil and millets via rural startup incubation centers. So these are the initiatives can be taken, and the social media and digital technology can be utilized for branding and marketing these products. This will also bring income and employment or opportunity for the rural population. And the next is promoting the public-private partnership model, especially for infrastructure and manufacturing and vocational training. So if we can integrate the skill programs with the industries, then this will resolve the problem of skill mismatch in the market, and will also ensure employment. So in this topic, we discussed what are the factors has to be considered by a government when they are going for framing a policy, an employment policy in the coming days, and what are the challenges in it. So based on the discussion, try to answer this mains practice question. The question is, in the context of India's economic growth, discuss the importance of creating climate resilient, AI resilient, and aspiration-centric jobs. Suggest the policy measures to achieve these objectives. So we discussed exactly the same things. Only in the first part, you have to talk about the importance of the climate resilient jobs and AI resilient jobs and aspiration-centric jobs. So just now we discussed, and suggest policies, what can be done. So after discussing the importance of every factor, we discussed what can be done in that line. So you can watch the video once again. It is a direct question from our video. Try to answer the question and post it in the comment section. We will review and we will reply for your answer. With this, we are coming to the conclusion for today's editorial analysis. If you like the video, hit the like button, give your feedbacks as comments, and share this content with your friends. And before leaving this channel, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell icon to receive on-time update from Shankar IAS Academy. Thank you.